Lindsay Clancy's murder trial, which has captivated people all over the world, is inching closer to an end. The Massachusetts mother pleaded not guilty to first and second degree murder by reason of mental illness or defect. Her defense attorney claims she was over-medicated and suffering from postpartum psychosis when she killed her 3 children and attempted to take her own life in 2023. But prosecutors allege that she planned the killings and faked a suicide attempt. I'm Shanelle Kaul in Plymouth, Massachusetts, and here are some of the biggest takeaways from the trial. Patrick Clancy, Lindsay's ex-husband, was the first witness to take the stand for the prosecution.
In January of 2023, did Lindsay ever tell you that she wanted to harm your children?
No. He testified about her mental health struggles and said, quote, she had one of the best days in the hours before the killings.
Did you say anything to Lindsay when you found her in that state?
Yeah, I said, what happened?
And what was her response?
She said I tried to kill myself.
Did you ask her anything else?
I said, where are the kids?
And what was her response?
She said they're in the basement.
And at that time, she didn't tell you that they needed help or they were in danger or they were injured, correct?
Correct.
First responders who arrived at the Clancy home that night described what they witnessed.
What did you see?
One of the police officers was carrying a child.
Duxbury police officer Stephen Hall said he got to the scene first.
Could you hear what he was saying? Do you recall him saying, I can't wake them up, I can't get them up?
Yes.
And what did you see when you got to that back room?
Just past the door on the left side, there was a body of a young child.
During the trial, excerpts from Lindsay Clancy's diary were read aloud for the jury. Prosecutors using it to frame her as a woman who was self-aware.
I feel like I'm drowning every day.
The defense claiming Clancy was failed by the system.
I have no appetite. I don't know what's wrong with me. I want help. I want to be well.
Clancy held her face in her hands as diary-style entries she'd written on her phone were read aloud.
I'm sad and depressed because I am not able to parent my 3rd child like my first.
The entries detailed her struggle with sleeping, her mental health, and her hesitations about the treatment she was receiving.
I'm on the fence about starting a new med or not. I want to feel happy, but it would be nice to feel authentically happy and not fake.
On the 10th day of the trial, Lindsay Clancy's psychiatrist, Dr. Jennifer Tufts, testified that Clancy, in her opinion, didn't exhibit signs of psychosis or mania, but the defense pushed back on some of those claims.
Did you ask her if she was hearing any voices or seeing any visual hallucinations?
I'm not sure if I asked that in that appointment, but she was very clearly not psychotic.
And why do you say that?
Because of how I described some of the signs of psychosis that are on the mental status exam. None of those were present.
Okay.
But she told you that she was worried about suicidal ideation and having suicidal thoughts, right?
Well, this was the time she said she was worried that she was close to having suicidal thoughts.
So did you ask her, what does that mean? Does that mean that she's standing at the edge of the stairs and she's thinking about falling down the stairs, or what? What does that mean, I'm close to suicidal ideation?
So I asked about that, and that's when she said she described it further as using the word hopeless.
At several points during this trial, Lindsay Clancy's emotions reverberated in the courtroom, sobbing as a medical examiner discussed the injuries her 3 children, Cora, Dawson, and Callan, sustained before they died.
Paleness around her neck.
The emotional moment consuming the courtroom.
What about,
Clancy was wheeled out as jurors were seen crying, prompting the judge to call for 2 breaks. After the prosecution rested, Lindsay Clancy's defense called members of her own family to the stand. Paula Musgrove, Clancy's mother, said her daughter expressed concerns about the medication she was taking and feared hurting her children.
You recall the time that you were in the kitchen with Lindsay and Patrick, and she made a statement about her state of mind to her husband, Pat, and you were there.
Yes.
I know it's difficult. Just tell us what you remember.
I remember her being very nervous. I remember her saying, I just have to tell you guys something. And then she told us.
What did she tell you?
She told us that she had thoughts of harming the children.
Allison Osga, Lindsay Clancy's sister, also testified about Clancy's state before the killings.
I do remember her saying at one point at the beginning of December, something along the lines of, I'm in a really tough spot. And knowing what she had shared with me previously about how her mental health had been struggling, I had this gut feeling that something was off and that she was really struggling, and I asked her if she was safe.
When clinical and forensic psychologist Dr. Paul Zeisel took the stand, he testified that after the killings, when he met with Clancy, she said she, quote, heard a male voice ordering her to kill her children. Zeisel testified under oath that he does not believe Clancy was faking her symptoms.
My opinion is that she did have indeed a mental disease or a defect. That's a legal construct, not a DSM-5 one, but she had bipolar disorder with postpartum psychoses. In addition, she was unable to conform her behaviors to the rule of law, and she had no appreciation for the wrongfulness of her act.
The testimony, which differs from what prosecution expert witnesses told jurors, highlights the key question for this jury. What was Lindsay Clancy's state of mind at the time of the killings? During the rebuttal stage, the defense called for a mistrial after testimony referenced Lindsay Clancy's faith twice.
In the course of strangling each child, she said, "Go to God, baby, go to God."
Then he said on the stand,
she was raised as a Catholic. As I understand Catholic considerations, that's not necessarily what happens, but when I asked her about that, when I said, isn't suicide a mortal sin?
Yeah, can I see counsel over here?
this was the second time Catholicism was mentioned and struck from testimony. Judge William Sullivan quickly rejected the defense's motion.
I'm not going to declare a mistrial this time.
Now, the judge did not declare a mistrial, but he did tell the jurors to disregard that testimony about religion. Both sides have delivered their closing arguments. And then attention will be on the jury box as the world awaits a verdict in the Lindsay Clancy murder trial.
This young lady is not guilty of the killing of her children because she was suffering from a disease and defect, as His Honor instructed you. And they're not going to be able to prove otherwise. And it's their burden, not ours.
She left them discarded on the basement floor like broken toys because she was done playing the game. You know to a moral certainty she is guilty.
Now it's up to the jury as the world awaits a verdict in the Lindsay Clancy murder trial. For CBS News, I'm Shanelle Kaul.